Good afternoon. This is Tyson with Grimm's Closet. We're going to take a look today at the Spider-Man Play Booster box. See what this feels like to open. I know this is a smaller set, more like the Assassin's Creed, and I didn't open just the normal packs of that. So we'll take a look and we'll see how this feels to open. I'm on my quest to my first 20 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed, like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate you joining me on the journey. Opening the Spider-Man booster box now. They're now called Play Boosters, and I'm doing this on a Overpower playmat. This was the original Marvel game that was made back in the day. It's now back. It doesn't have Marvel in it now. Back then, they had Marvel, DC, Image comic book characters, and I don't have a Spider-Man or any kind of Marvel mat, so we're just going to stick with that. All right, well, let's get going. Looks like this box is made in Japan. We can see that over here, so I'm anticipating some good quality right there. I noticed the packs in the pre-release that I opened were in a different order, and so some of them had the rares on like the second or third card, which I don't love. So some things, if this is your first time playing Magic, booster boxes used to come in 36 packs. They've recently shrunk the size of the booster boxes from 36 to 30 in a box, and they also increased the price substantially. So keep that in mind. They're not quite worth, I don't feel like they're worth as opening bunch like they used to be. Yeah, let's go ahead and get in. I love Spider-Man, and I'm very excited. I hope this is on a card art, because that is really cool. Then we have our little, there's guys. If you're playing this and you're drafting, these are the color pairs. And this is your first time playing Magic the Gathering. The color pair, if they're friendly, they're right by each other in the back. So green, white are a color pair, white, blue, and so these are friendly pairs. Enemy pairs are across, so green, black, green, blue. So this particular set has, these are kind of the archetypes. The Final Fantasy one has twice as many saber friendlies. I don't know if they're all in order, but you have your friendly and you have your enemy pairs. So yeah, let's go ahead and get going. All right, so pack one. Let's see where the things are listed. So it looks like we have the tokens in the back. So we'll see how many. We have our rare foil, and we have our rare Clone Saga, which is Bill Havoc. If you do not know Bill Havoc, he was the artist on like the New Mutants back in the 80s. He did Moon Knight for a long time. He's one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. Wonderful painter. His illustrations are just so dynamic and colorful and unique. So going forward, we're gonna I guess we have a double rare pack here. I'm going to try to with Arachne, which is a 90s Spider-Woman, which has weird cropping there, but so I guess going forward, I'll just grab the top four. And it's kind of hard. Maybe we'll just go. Supporting parents, Miles' parents right there. Sun Spider, no idea who that is. Living Brain, Mechanical Marvel, Mechanical Monster, looks like it's a Silvermane, Still Wrecking Ball, Irrigation Passenger Fairy, Lurking Lizards, Web Up, and the News Helicopter. Yeah, so it's kind of hard because not every pack has the same amount of rares. So it's like, I guess we just go for it. So we have our token, with our lines together. We have our foil right there, which is a Tombstone, Career Criminal. We have a Black Cat, Stunning, or Cunning Thief. Stunning Thief would be funny too. I don't know if she should be black though. We have Wraith, another Spider character. Don't know who it is. Lots of multiverse stuff. So as an old Spider-Man, I don't recognize a lot of the new stuff. Randall's Rampage, Spot's Portal, Robotics Mastery, Mendel Strom. That's a name that I know, but I just haven't heard in a long time. Spider-Man No More, a cool homage to the old Spider-Man cover. Beetle, Legacy Criminal, Angry Rabble, Risky Research, Scorpion Sting, Spider-Man with Miles, and then Working Lizards. I know it says guaranteed foil every pack. We've been funny if it said like guaranteed Spider-Man in every pack. Right, so on to the next pack. Looks like they might have a full pack, but some of them open and some of them don't. We have our token. Foil is a Suburban Sanctuary and a Swarm being abused by Spinner and Starling. Whenever you attack with two or more spiders, put one encounter on Spinner and Starling. Whenever Spinner and Starling deal 4 more damage, exile top of your library until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. That's pretty good. Double rare pack. We have a Mysterio, Master Illusion, 1 in blue. Blue and 3. When Mysterio enters, create a 3/3 blue illusion villain token for each non-token villain you control. Exile those tokens when Mysterio leaves the battlefield. That's cool. Be fun to build around. We have Molten Man, Prowler, Web Shooters. The art's really dark here. At least the printing is. We can maybe move my lighting over a little bit, see a little better. Kind of a goofy art. He's just spraying his webs all over his room like a teenager does. Spider-Bot, Romantic Rendezvous, Risky Research, Oscorp, Research Team, Go Extra Arms, Starlink, and then Craven's Cats. This time the hunter shall get his prey with the aid of my 2 little pets. It's super fun seeing like the old Spider-Man characters showing up. I don't know if there's any big misses on like characters that should have been included or not, so we'll see. Vibrant Cityscape and Foil. We have a rare Ultimate Green Goblin and the Death of Gwen Stacy. I'm just gonna do a quick edit. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. This card I just had to grab it because I have a little shelf of comic books. But this is my comic that is from the Death of Gwen Stacy. A little dusty. But it's the Amazing Spider-Man 121. This particular one is signed by Stan Lee and John Romita, who's the artist on here, and then Gary Conway. And so, yeah, I love this book, and it's one of my favorite stories. Okay, I am back from that segue. We have a double rare pack. Flash Thompson, Rhino's Rampage, Madam Web. I've never actually read any comics with her. I just remember her in the 90s cartoon, the Spider-Man animated series showing up there. Don't recognize the ones in the background, but we have a Mechanical Mobster, Doc's Henchman, Taxi Driver, a Venom. This art is rad. This is on a common for black and 4 for 4/5 Death Touch. 3 black and 2. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put 2/1 counters on target creature against Death Touch end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Pumpkin Bomb, Starling. So we're starting to see some repetition, which I'm not very far into the pack, so I don't know what the count is for cards in the set, but it's got to be pretty small. We have a Human Citizen, a Island. We have that card again. I believe this Strength of Will. This is based on, I think it's like Spider-Man issue like 33. Something like that. It was 43. It was Steve Ditko's like last comic book that he drew for Spider-Man. So Really cool story. This really is a nice throwback to that. So Strength of Will. Until end of turn, target creature you control gets indestructible. When that creature is dealt damage, you may put that many 1/1 counters on it. Great way to keep your guys alive and make them better for next turn. It also works pretty good if you're getting hit by someone with first strike, because then you get those things there. You get added up, or you get buffed, and then you get to hit the creature. We have Wisecrack, the Grizzly. That's funny. I like this. Dwayne Reynolds. This feels like a really nice stylized Spider-Man right there. Support of Parents. We have another Vulture. Kind of monster. Mysterious Phantasm. Flying Vigilance. Whenever this creature attacks, mill a card. So he's a 1/3. Shock. Eerie Gravestone. This is when Kraven buries Spider-Man in the ground during the Kraven's Last Hunt storyline. Spider-Man digs himself up from the grave. It would have been cool if they just like commissioned the original artist. I think was it Mike Zeck who did that? It's been a long time since I've read it. Skyward Spider, no idea who that is. Guy in the Chair, Spider-Man Web Slinger, and then a Electro's Bolt. Just wanted to take a look at it real quick. Maybe Lightning Bolt would have been cool, but I don't want that in standard. We have our things here. Our foil is a Molten Man. I think he's has a pretty powerful effect if you play in mono red or something. Villainous Rat, 2 black and 3. Classic Doc Ock holding Spider-Man, ripping his costume up. Her opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures they control, then destroy all creatures. Double rare pack, I'll take it. Hydra Man, Fluid Felon. Whenever you cast a blue spell, if Hydra Man is a creature, it gets 1/1/1/1 until end of turn. We have a Spot's Portal. It's cool seeing Spot here. I haven't read a lot of the Miles comics. I found he wasn't very interesting in the comics when I read him, but I really liked him in Into the Spider-Verse. So I know he was in one of the Spider-Man games where he fought the Spot, I believe. Now I'm like, is it just Mr. Negative? I don't know. Spider-Girl, Legacy Hero. This is cool. The old 90s Spider-Girl comics were fantastic, and so it's good to see that she gets some love. I would have liked to see her get some more love than some of the other ones. Green and white. During your turn, Spider-Girl has flying. When Spider-Girl leaves the battlefield, create a 1/1 green and white human citizen token. Raging Goblinoids, Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist, Angry Rabble, Venomized Cat. I don't know where that's from, but it's awesome. Unstable Experiment. The art is very cool with seeing the Green Goblin's eye through the thing there. The potion or the chemical. City Pigeon, Grow Extra Arms, and the News Helicopter. Man, I would have hated to draw on this. Like if you're the comic book artist and you're like, every time you're drawing Spider-Man, you have to draw his arms 3 extra times just to, it's kind of funny to think about with that. Got our little lands here. A Shock. We have a Lizard, Connor's Curse, and a Spider-Punk. We've gotten a lot of double rare packs, so that's kind of nice. Spider-Punk seems like he's pretty good too with the Riot. All our spiders you have get Riot. Scarlet Spider's Kane. I kind of think this should have just been called Kane because Scarlet Spider's Ben Reilly. Spider-Man Heroic Horde. We have our costume closet. It's kind of funny to think that like Peter's got this closet just full of his various costumes he's had. Spider Island, Swarm of Bees, Beetle, Legacy Criminal, City Pigeon, Spider-Man, Brooklyn Visionary, Electro's Bolt, and a Gallant Citizen. John Jameson, the Man Wolf, goes to the moon and gets some cursed moon rock and turns into a werewolf man. We have our things here and our first rare foil, I think. Unless I mixed it in somewhere. Another double rare pack. We have a Superior Spider-Man. This is when Dr. Octopus switches bodies with Spider-Man. And so, it was a cool storyline. And 2 blue and black. Mind Swap. You may have Superior Spider-Man enter as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard, except his name is Superior Spider-Man and he's a 4/4 Spider-Human token in addition to other types. When you do, exile that card. Pretty cool. Peter Parker's Camera, 1 colorless. This artifact enters with 3 film counters on it. 2, remove a film counter from this. Copy targeted, activated, or triggered ability you control. That could be really great, especially if you have some kind of proliferate abilities, and you can just kind of keep reusing that. Spider UK, because, everybody was like, I want Spider-Man UK. Living Brain, Mechanical Marvel. I don't remember this creature or anything, but it looks a lot like a Jack Kirby design. A Flying Octobot, we have a Bagel and Smear, Unstoppable Experiment, Spider-Gwen, Venom's Hunger, very cool art, Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist, Mob Lookout, Selfless Police Captain, and a Wild Pack. Works really great with Silver Sable, who gives other creatures vigilance when they attack, but at the beginning of your turn, they get first strike and vigilance until end of turn, so nice little buff. Right, our treasure, our first, that's a cool foil at least. Venom, Evil Unleashed. Looked at him earlier. Lots of double rares. Jackal, Genius Geneticist. Trample whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to Jackal's power. Copy that spell, except it is legendary. Carnage, Crimson Chaos. When Carnage enters, return target creature of mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains this creature attacks each combat if able, and when this creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it. I think Carnage will be very fun to play. Wall Crawl, Hobgoblin. I would have liked to see a couple more versions of the Hobgoblin than like Spider UK. Like there was, I'm trying to remember their names. There was the Ned. He was Ned Leeds. He was the second. Yeah, it was like Kingsley. Yeah, it's like the first one. Then there was Ned Leeds. There's a few of them, and it would have been nice to just see some of the different versions of Hobgoblin than Spider UK. But Mantle Marauder, red and 1, Flying Haste. Whenever you discard a card, he gets +2/+0 until end of turn. You can make that go pretty good in those discard decks. Sandman's Quicksand, Stegron. That's a deep cut. The Dinosaur Man. That's funny. Dinosaur formula. Discard this card until end of turn. Target creature you control gets +3/+1. Becomes a dinosaur. Inner Demons, Oscorp Research Team, Grow Extra Arms, Daily Bugle Reporters, Subway Train, and Spectacular Tactics. I do like some of the deep cuts when they do hit, but just a little too many Spider-Man. A lot of people that just don't care about, like Spider Bite, no idea. Interdimensional Web Watch 4. It's an artifact. When this artifact enters, exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. 1, tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast spells from exile. We have our Morbius Living Vampire. 2 blue and a black, and 2 Flying Vigilance Lifelink. Then you can exile from the graveyard. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 onto your hand and the rest on the library in any order. He just really wimpy for 4 mana. I think 3/1. I mean, it does a lot of stuff, but we have a Spider Slayer, Hatred Honed, Craven Proud Predator. Is another one. I would have liked to see like that Vermin from his The Last Hunt, who's a big character in there, instead of 2 Cravens. I think just a little bit more variety would have been cool. But the art's cool. Red, green, and a 1. Vigilance, top of the food chain. Craven's power is equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control. So he's pretty solid. Or he can be. Spider Islanders, Merciless Enforcers. That's just the Enforcers, which is cool. Fancy Dan. It has their names. Ox and Montana. I was like, I couldn't remember the other 2's names for a second. Whoosh. We have Vulture fighting Gwen, Spider Gwen. Steel Wrecking Ball, Spider-Man Manifestation, Web Up, Guy in the Chair, and Spectacular Tactics. Gwen Stacy, I think, is a good example where I don't believe she has a card. The Gwen Stacy we have is Spider-Gwen. And so it would have been kind of cool to see like the original Gwen on some art, besides like her dying. Here we have the Merciless Enforcers, and then we have Scarlet Spider. And then they have to tell you that it's Ben Reilly, which we know. It's I always thought he was really cool when I was a kid, and it's kind of funny. I still think he's really cool when he's really just wearing a hoodie that has the sleeves ripped off. Green, red, and 1. Web slinging for 2. Trample. If Scarlet Spider was cast using web slinging, he enters with X. When 1 counters on him, where X is the mana value of the return creature. So I mean, you can get him out on turn 2. You play Llanowar Elves on turn 1. Play a Mountain. Play whatever. You have the mana there as long as it's up. Tap your mana, all of a sudden, bam, you have him in, and you have a 5/4 on turn 2, which is pretty crazy. Aunt May, she was great. She's almost like a Soul Warden, but it's just your creature. So whenever another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. If it's a spider, put a 1/1 counter on it. So I like that card. Chameleon, Master of Disguise. I like that he's I don't know, does Shapeshifter do the same thing as a Changeling? Do we need to have both? I don't know what the difference is. I have to look that up. Stegron, Venom, Amazing Acrobatic, Shock, Mob Lookout, Selfless Politician, Gwen Stacy's dad. Scout the City, we have Miles chasing one of the goblins. Can't tell which one. And then spider character. Maybe that could have been the original Beetle instead of a spider character, no one knows. We have 2 foils in this pack from here, and then we have the Origin of Spider-Man. I have, if you go to Washington, D.C., all the original pages except for the color are in the National Archives, and you can go visit those, and it's really cool. It's almost like a spiritual experience in a way. The original Steve Ditko's lines, and I don't know if he inked it, but it's so nice. I will, maybe I'll add some pictures if I can figure out how to add those in. And if those are added in, I'll just let it go, and I'll just show the pictures from that book. If not, we'll just go from there. But Jim Chung and J. David Ramos. We have the Sandman's Quicksand, Chameleon Master Disguise, Damage Control Crew, Fatal Shimmer, Brick Ski Research, Passenger Freight, Mask Meower, Subway Train, Wild Pack, Kapow, which is fun, it's a sound effect. Daily Bugle Reporters. I think we'll start speeding up a little bit. We're starting to see a lot of the comms over again. Robot. There we have the Multiversal Passage. Foil, as this line enters, choose a basic land type, then you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tap. So it's basically a shock land. This line is the chosen type. That's awesome. That's a keeper. With great power. And it's misnomer. Uncle Ben did not say this. This was just something that is said at the end of the first Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man's Experience. Don't love the art on this. But with great power, there must also come great responsibility. Enchant creature you control, enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each art and equipment attached to it. All damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to this enchanted creature instead. I believe anti-venom can't take combat damage, so this would be great put on anti-venom. We basically just keep you alive. You can keep that creature up. We have Penny Parker. Yeah, I like the art on this card. I like the colors. I don't know this version of her. I really only know her from the Spider-Verse. So, Pictures of Spider-Man. When his artifact enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. I'm gonna stop. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them in your hand, put the rest of them onto the bottom of the library in order. Spider-Man Noir, Historic Vault, Venom Unleashed, Whoosh, Spider Founders, Professional Wrestler, Web Up, White and 2. When this creature enters, exile target permanent, and upon control spells leaves the battlefield. So it's really similar to the Vanishing Light. For a second I thought it was Spider-Man in the web because I was just seeing that little face popping out. Spider-Man Manifestation and Starling Ariel Ally. Spider Swamp, Skyward Spider with Shadow Goblin. Oh, we got our thing there. We'll look at in a second. Red and 1, Shadow Goblin. At the beginning of your first main phase, discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then here is our first bonus sheet card. If we look at the packs, these have been lowered. So these packs may contain cards 1 through 231, the Marvel set 1 through 40, includes 1 to 4 cards from anywhere to get higher. It tells you those rates. 1 card of rarity is traditional, blah, 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 blah. I guess it doesn't say on here, but they have changed it. So these are like 1 in, I don't even know. I'll figure out the numbers and I'll pop on the screen. But in Final Fantasy, these are 1 in 3 packs, and now they are 1 in like 26. I'll just pop on the screen and just say it accurately. But that's really disappointing because I want to get these. I want to collect them and pull them, but the chances are so low. Yeah, this is the 90s or early 80s version of the Sinister Six. My first video game I ever bought was an NES game of Sinister Six. I don't know how I saved money up. It was like $70. It took me a long time to save it as a kid, like from allowance and things. Green Goblin Revenant. This is like our only Harry Osborn card for some reason. I'd like to see some more here. One of our first borderless cards. Maybe I have another somewhere. But we have the Web Warriors. When this creature enters, put 1 counter on each of the creature you control. We'll just make some space. And yeah, this is like the spiciest pack so far. Yeah, I love seeing the comic artist, and this is Eric Larson, who is also known for the Savage Dragon, who is going to be coming back in one of the future overpower. One of the future overpower sets. They're going to be like Darkness, Witchblade, some image characters. Hopefully, we get Spawn again, which would be fantastic. I opened up recently a bunch of image overpower stuff, so check that out if you haven't. I'll put a link below somewhere. Spider-Man Woman, Stunning Savior, White or Blue, and 1 Flying Gun Blast. Artifacts and creatures your opponent control enters tapped. That's a pretty nice little stacks effect. I like that. We have Shriek, Big and Maximum Carnage, Storyline, Sudden Strike, Madam Web, Common Crook, Ingrid Rabble. Don't know if you've seen that one. Red and White, Trample. Whenever you cast a spell, whenever you for greater, each opponent deals. Each creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Or this, I can't read. Eerie Gravestone. We have a Spider-Man, Broken Visionary, Pumpkin Bomb Spider, and Scorpion Sting. I live on a busy streets. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I just had to do a little edit because that car was outside for a while. We have the City Pigeon with in the foil. We have our Oscorp Industries. Enters tapped. You can also play it for Mayhem cost as well. And when it enters from graveyard, you lose 2 life. We have Sudden Strike, Ezekiel Sims, Shriek, Venomized Cat, Mysterio, Spider-Gwen, Risky Research, Scorpion Sting, Gallant, Citizen, News, Helicopter, and Craven's Cats. All right. Another News Helicopter. The Clone Saga. Kind of a Spider-Man based art. I don't know who this artist is, but blue and 3. Comes in, it surveys 3. There's the cloning Gwen Stacy. For the next phase, when you next cast a creature spell this turn, copy it, except it isn't legendary. And 3, choose a card. Name whenever a creature with the chosen name deals combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card. So this is cool. If you have two guys, the next two, you choose that, you get hit with it twice, and then you get to draw 2 cards. This is cool because when you play it, your opponent, if they counter it, they have to counter both. So you get both will enter, which is pretty cool. We have Sandman, Shifting Scoundrel, 2 green 1s. His power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Sandman can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Return this card and target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's great. Flying Octopus, Wisecrack, terrific team up. We're starting to just see a lot of stuff that we've seen before, so we'll just speed this up. Flying Octobot, Bioorganic Carapace. I think this is like Smythe, I think is his name. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets 2/2 and has when this creature does combat damage to a player, draw a card for each modified creature you control. So that's pretty cool. I like that it automatically attaches when it enters, which is helpful. Spider Girl. I'm assuming at this point we've pulled all of the commons. My understanding is this set originally didn't have commons. That was going to be like the Assassin's Creed and Aftermath sets. A Friendly Neighborhood, white and 3. Aura, when this enters, get 3 citizen token, 3 1/1 citizen, green white citizen creature tokens. Pay 1, tap, target creature gets 1/1 for each creature you control. Activate as a sorcery. I haven't seen this one yet. Alien Symbiosis, black and 1. Enchant creature is 1/1. It has menace and is a symbiote. In addition to its other types, you may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to playing its other costs. That's pretty cool. I like that you can bring it back. Man, I would love to do another like a draft or something with these, like, or just like a deck with that in it would be really fun. I like to build my commander decks more. Man, this pack is just doesn't want to open. Kind of theme decks. I just find limiting yourself and having a small card pool to pull from is just a little bit more challenging. We have Selfless Police Captain, and we have the Spot, Living Portal, white and black and 3. When the Spot enters, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent and up to 1 target non-land permanent card from a graveyard. When he dies, put him on the bottom of his owner's library. If you do, return the exile cards to the owner's hands. So, target, you exile a creature, your enemy, a creature from the enemy's board, and then you one from your own graveyard, and then he dies, and it just goes back to your hand. So, pretty cool way to bring stuff back for yourself. I like that. Making this Spot. Remember when he was just kind of a jokey character, and then that second Spider-Verse movie, he was pretty cool. All right, Prison Break is our foil. Our first Mary Jane, green and a white. Whenever a spider you control enters, draw a card. This ability triggers once each turn. Spider-Mobile. I realized it was called the Spider Buggy. Maybe it was the Spider-Mobile. 3, trample. When this vehicle enters or blocks, get a 1/1 and +1/+1 until end of turn for each spider you control. You get a lot of everything else we've seen before. Yeah, these play boosters would be a lot more exciting if these were showing up here as well. We'll put that guy over here. J. Jonah Jameson. When J. Jonah enters, when he enters, suspect up to 1 target creature. A suspect creature has menace and can't block. When a creature you control with menace attacks, create a treasure token. I don't know if that lasts. It doesn't say until end of turn, so it must just last. So you just turn someone into a menace. Rhino, haven't seen him. 2 red, 2 green, and 3. It's expensive. Vigilance, trample, haste. Okay. When he attacks, if you've cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater this turn, draw a card. That's I'm more excited to see like all the Spider-Man villains than I am to see like random spider character. We have a foil Thwip, and then we have Spider-Man 2099. This is not a random Spider-Man character. This is one of the first alternate Spider-Mans, if not... I mean, outside of a clone, it's one of the first. You can't cast Spider-Man 2099 during your first, second, or third turns of the game. Double Strike Vigilance at the beginning of your end step if you played a land or cast a spell this turn. From anywhere other than your hand. Spider-Man 2099 deals damage equal to his power to any target. That's pretty cool. I was up last night with the kiddo, so got a little tired this afternoon. Known as Recycle. Spider Suit is our rare. We have Agent Venom, black and 2. Flash Menace. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may draw a card and lose 1 life. So it's kind of like a Midnight Reaper. I think it's same cost, but it has Flash, if I recall Midnight Reaper correctly. Costume, we have our Scorpion, Rhino. So yeah, now we're getting more of the same characters. Haven't seen a lot of the... Oh, look. Let's see, sometimes these just do not open. See some people open packs and I'm just like, how do you never have that problem? Lady Octopus, Inspired Dementor, blue. Great casting cost. Whenever you draw your first or second card each turn, put an Ingenuity counter on her. You may cast a artifact spell. You may cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the number of Ingenuity counters on Lady Octopus without paying your mana cost. That's cool. We have a Spectacular Spider-Man in the borderless. I think there's other ones, but they only come in the collector boosters. I'm not positive if that's the case. But I did get one of these in my pre-release kit last night. He's white and 1. He has Flash. Pay 1, he gets flying until end of turn, and pay 1, sacrifice Spectacular Spider-Man. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. And then we have our Harry Osborn School Days. I've not seen that one, I don't think. Blue and 3. Choose 1, do homework, draw 3 cards, counter target spell. Daily Bugle Building. It comes in untapped, which is good, I guess. Tap 1. And you get colorless 1 in this, and you get one of any color. Smear Campaign, target legendary creature gains menace until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So it's cool that it has abilities. It gives you things to do from a place that normally doesn't do a lot. You're not normally using lands for anything outside of casting spells, so in limited it's probably pretty solid to just have those options. We have the Raging Goblinoid. Rent is due, 1 white. At the beginning of your end step, you may tap 2 untapped creatures and or treasures you control. If you do, draw a card. Otherwise, sacrifice this enchantment. I mean, this could be pretty good if you're going wide. That sounds pretty reasonable to me. Silver Sable, I think she's a great card. All right, looks like we're down to 4 packs. And then we have a Masked Meower, a Superior Spider-Man, this time in non-foil, and a Spider Sense, a blue and a 1, web slinging. So he's that famous scene where he's this is from the following issue of Spider-Man after Gwen Stacy dies, and he dodges out of the way. Counter target instant spell, sorcery, or triggered ability. I think you can do the triggered ability. I don't feel like you got to do that too often. There's a lot of triggered abilities that are pretty powerful. Okay, our foil is a Inner Demon's Gangster, rare land. It's a 3-color land, enters tapped, green, white, or blue. For 2, return a tapped creature you control to its owner's hand. Put this card from your hand onto the battlefield. Sacrifice only, no, activate only as a sorcery. Return creature you control to its owner's hand. Put this card. So it's almost got web spinning or web slinging. I guess the colors are good for the Amazing Spider-Man, but all right, let's see. Our rares or Spider Islander we have our Mythic Dr. Octopus Master Planner, blue and black and 5. Other villains you control get +2/+2 at your maximum hand size is 8 at the beginning of your end step. If you have fewer than 8 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. I kind of wish he had a little bit more colors just so he could be like the leader of the Sinister Six, because here's the Sinister Six, and Electro's red, and Hobgoblin's red, and he's green. I think Vulture's green, so he's not leading the Sinister Six. Scorpion, Spider-Man India. This card's cool. I love seeing some of the old Magic artists coming back. Arcade Post. I know there's a card from back in the day that he did a similar art for. And so it's kind of cool that there's a little homage there. And so here we have the last pack. We'll see if we get anything cool. Foil is a Gallant Citizen, or another Mythic. Spider-Verse, I've seen this also in extended art, and it looks so much better because there's just a ton cut off here. It just feels kind of crowded, but 2 red and 3. Legend rule doesn't apply to spiders you control. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may copy it. If you do, you may choose new targets for the copy. So it's really kind of playing as like exiles, being like the Spider-Verse are coming from another dimension. If the copy is a permanent spell, it gains haste. Do this once each turn. Yeah, so overall, my thoughts on the set is I love seeing characters like Spider-Girl popping up. There's a lot of there's not enough of these in the play booster packs, and some of the cropping on some of the cards, some of the design of it's just things that it didn't need to be like that. There's lots of duplication because the set seems really small, and I feel like there's just a few characters that maybe should have been included. Like do we need Spider-Man UK? Maybe we could have had your Peter Parker Ultimate Spider-Man. Just some thoughts there. Anyways, if you guys have you guys opened any Spider-Man cards? Have you enjoyed it? Is that a hard pass? I totally understand if it's something you're not interested in. If you liked watching this and you enjoyed it, give it a like, comment, subscribe, downvote if you didn't. Have a great rest of your day, no matter what, though, and we'll talk to you guys later.